Keeping pace with the twists and turns of Scottish politics can be a challenge. Since 2014, independence has generated most of the noise. Support for a yes vote was especially strong in Glasgow and hasn't shifted much across Scotland, even with the SNP losing some momentum.
Polling suggests when it comes to independence, Scotland is still split roughly right down the middle. In previous elections, it used to be a defining issue in how voters would pick which party to vote for. But this time round, things feel a bit different and the pattern could be shifting. We're just asking people if independence is a key issue for you at the election this time round.
Not right now, for me personally.
What's more important?
I don't know, I think more existential issues, cost of living.
I think my agenda in the general one is to get the Tories out and then everything else afterwards.
I think it's definitely the biggest important issue for this election for me.
Why is that?
I just want to escape Westminster's clutches and be able to make our own decisions without London dictating.
How important is independence at this general election to you?
Not in this general election.
Has it been more important to you in the past?
Yeah, but it has to me.
What's changed?
Everything.
There used to be an expectation that SNP election victories would lead to a second referendum. But 2 years ago, the Supreme Court ruled that couldn't happen without the UK government's consent, making the route much less clear.
We know that independence is less salient for voters than it was before.
Ailsa Henderson studies Scottish voting behaviour in UK elections.
I think independence will be less important in this election than it has been in the 3 previous UK general elections, and I say that for 2 reasons. First is that independence is less important to voters than it used to be. We see that in everything from Google Trends and Google searches to the issues that people think are the most important issues for them, so independence is decreasing there. But the other reason is that when we ask people about this election in particular, and we say, what's important to you? Is it sending a constitutional message, either pro-Indy or pro-Union, or is it about government formation? Is it keeping the Conservatives in office or removing the Conservatives from office? Then the Scottish electorate is clear. The most popular answer is this election is about removing the Conservatives from office.
Labour is looking to win back voters from the SNP at this election. The party is against another independence referendum, but tempting some yes supporters to lend them their vote this time round could be key to their success.
What we were seeing at each election for a while was Labour losing about half its support at each election, and the half they were losing were those who were yes supporters or soft yes supporters. Sometimes we call them indie curious supporters, or people who were just not on the absolutely pro-union side of things. So it's absolutely had an impact on their support levels in Scotland.
Summer ride-out season in the Scottish borders. In some rural seats, battle colours are yellow and blue, with the Conservatives hopeful that a strong pro-union vote can help them keep the SNP in second place.
Independence is not for me, but so I'll be voting that way. But
How big an issue do you think independence is this time round?
From a personal point of view, I think they need to start focusing on the country rather than independence. I think that's the trouble. They're too focused on one single issue, and I think for a lot of Scots, and certainly in this area, hence the reason it's Tory.
Just miles from the border with England, we meet Alistair, who campaigned strongly for a no vote in 2014.
I think that Conservatives in this general election look like they're going to do badly in the United Kingdom. Not here, not in Scotland, and particularly in rural Scotland and in the south of Scotland. I think they'll hang on.
If the SNP do make significant losses, do you think that's the issue of independence over, dead in the water?
I don't think it's going to go away. I think like a lot of political movements, it will ebb and flow. I don't actually think there will be another referendum on independence. I can't see I'm a historian, and you see cycles. And I think it's on a downward trajectory at the moment. There are other more important things.
Back in Glasgow, Ellie has a different vision of what the future holds for her country. She started campaigning for independence as a teenager.
Do you speak to people on the doorsteps who tell you, look, we support independence, but we're thinking about lending our vote to Labour?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions around tactical voting. I mean, I know that people really care about getting the Tories out of Scotland. The way to truly guarantee a Tory-free Scotland is to become independent, and the SNP are the party that's going to do that.
If the SNP makes significant losses at this election, do you worry about what that means for independence? Is that independence dead in the water?
Honestly, Kathryn, my answer to you is no, not at all, because the independence movement is about more than just the SNP. We'll absolutely see an independent Scotland in my lifetime. It is an inevitability at this point, Kathryn.
Whoever gets into government, because Keir Starmer, Rishi Sunak, neither of them are going to grant another referendum. What's the route?
Oh, I think the route is time, and when the right time will come, the right time will come.
The ins and outs of independence may not be the focal point of this election, but whatever the result, there are more steps to